Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Gem podcast. I'm so excited to be interviewing my friend Felly, and she's so awesome. And I can't wait to dive in, and we're going to get to know her a little bit more better, if that makes sense. Okay, so Felly, thank you for joining us. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Felly. Hello. I own a content agency and I work as a marketing mentor for service-based businesses. I live in Mexico, but I'm from Vancouver in Canada. And I just live for the heat. I cannot deal with the cold or the snow. Out.
Okay. Does it snow a lot in Canada?
In Canada, yeah. In Vancouver, no. Like where I'm from, it's the warmest part of the whole country, but it's still too cold in my opinion. It still snows in winter.
Okay. Well, we're summer babies anyway, so we need the
Why
heat.
can't it be summer all year round? Like,
I'm telling you. Okay, so tell us more about your agency.
okay, yeah. So I have a content agency. It's me and 5 other team members. And we focus on email marketing, content repurposing, and Pinterest marketing for online coaches. I would say, mostly I work with spiritual online coaches, but that's just like who's found their way to me, not like through marketing of my own. Um, and yeah, I love it. I don't know if I could ever give up like running my agency, especially like as I step more into mentorship. I still like having that aspect of like the analytical part of my brain versus like the visionary like coaching side.
Awesome. Very cool. So here on the podcast, we talk about more than, the business stuff. I want to get in a little bit deeper. So, how do you spark creativity in your life? What sparks creativity?
I would like to say that I'm not a super creative person, but at the same time, I know that's not true. I definitely turn to like books or podcasts or even like watching like master classes and webinars when I'm looking to be like inspired or like if I'm feeling in a bit of a rut when it comes to writing, because that's really the only form of creativity I partake in. Um, but yeah, I really get easily inspired by other people to then like dive within myself.
Absolutely. What kind of things do you like to write?
I would really like to write. I feel like I'm gonna like out myself here and maybe regret this in the future. But I would really like to write more like memoir style of books, but I would write them as nonfiction. Just like from different
Okay.
parts. I feel like I'm the type of person who I've had like a bunch of different lives in one lifetime. So like there's sections of my life that I would like to like turn into a novel.
Girl. Yes. I'm like with you there. um okay, so what or who inspires you?
Is it bad that I'm like not inspired by people? Like
No, that's not bad.
I I just want to be happy. Like all I've ever want is to be happy. So like being happy inspires me, I guess. Like that's what I'm always thriving for of like if I'm not happy, like how can I fix it? What's wrong here? Maybe like people who are super positive inspire me because I've always been like pretty pessimistic.
Well, what makes you happy?
Literally the simple things like getting to listen to my music out loud, like dancing around to disco in the kitchen. I think right now this is what makes me happy because I've just gone through a breakup with someone we had very different music tastes. And so I never got to play my music because he couldn't stand it. And it's like I think
Mhm.
disco is great. Everyone should appreciate
Yeah.
disco. But even, like
Yes.
90s R&B, he would, like, complain. I'm like, "How can you complain about, like, listening to Destiny's Child?"
Wow.
Like or, like, I love to just have, like, total reset days. I can be, like, as social as they come, but then I'm not gonna talk to anyone for, like, a full day and just only leave bed for the bathroom or food, kind of just lay in bed, like, reading a book or taking constant, like, back-to-back naps. Like, that makes me really happy, just getting to live how I want to live and not having to, like, answer to anyone. Total freedom.
Absolutely. Yes. That would make me happy too. So that's good. And now you're free to listen to your music.
Loud as I want.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. So tell me about a time, like a dark time or a low time in your life, and how you overcame it.
Definitely, like, the last year of my life was just low. I knew that I wasn't happy in my relationship, but I kept telling myself that I was comfortable and it was enough, and people would constantly tell me, like, what an amazing guy he was. And I know he's a great guy, and I would love to still be friends with him, but we were so badly matched for each other. And I just kept convincing myself that it was okay because it was comfortable, and, like, I knew he wasn't my future, I knew he wasn't my forever, but, like, it was okay for the time being. But then, like, I hit 27 and I'm like, I really wanna be married, and why am I dating this guy that's not my future? Like, I wanna be married and I can't, like, you're in the way of me finding my husband. Like,
Mhm.
so I I had a lot of conversations with myself and just, like, had to trust in myself that it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to put yourself first. Like, I knew that breaking up with him was gonna hurt him because no matter how many times I said, like, "I'm unhappy, our relationship is toxic, we're not happy together," he continued to think, like, that was okay, and, like, maybe he's never had, like, a healthy, happy relationship to compare to, but, like, I knew breaking up with him was gonna hurt him, but I also knew, like, it was gonna be, like, a catalyst for me, and I just had to, like, rip it off like a Band-Aid and put myself first.
Absolutely. What is something that you grew up not liking about yourself, and now you love it?
I used to get told that I was, like, too influential, like, that I was manipulative,
Really?
and yeah, I think it has to do with, like, being a Gemini, like, we have the same birthday. Like,
Yes.
being
Yeah.
ruled by Mercury, like, we have an
Mhm.
understanding of communication that maybe other people don't, and I like, especially as I've gotten older and, like, learned more about, like, copywriting and learned more about, like, laws of attraction, and it's really, like, if you ask for something like, if you never ask, you'll never get it, and, like, I'm straightforward, I'm not gonna beat around the bush, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna ask for what I want, and, like, I don't think it's a bad thing to be influential. I don't know why that was, like, used as an insult when I was a kid, but it's also, like, it's not manipulative to ask for what you want and then get it. It's just, like, other people are triggered because they're scared to ask and they're jealous that you got, you know? And so, it was definitely something, like, when I was younger that, like, people would say to me, like, "Oh, you're really manipulative," and I'm like, "Am I manipulative or do I just know how to use, like, my words to get what I want?"
Hmm. We're not manipulative. I don't think so. But that's something that you didn't like about yourself?
Yeah, because I felt like it, like, made it hard for people to trust me because they thought maybe I would, like, had double intentions even though it was like, that's not it, like, if I want something, I'll tell you. Like
Pretty much. That's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, the Geminis, we're two different sides, and I used to not like that about myself. But I love being Gemini. So, absolutely. So, what do you think being a creative gem means.
To me, it would be, I guess along the lines of like, especially because we're entrepreneurs, like being in the creative space, but like being a unique individual in our niche, um in our industry, you know, and like standing out in a creative way. A diamond in the rough. Like that's what really comes to mind.
Exactly. Yes. Um, that's really what, and it's exactly what it is, actually. How has finding out you're a projector changed the way you have done business or just changed you in general?
It gave me the permission to like accept naps. Because honestly, when I found out about human design, I felt like every single person I saw online was a generator, and everyone was so on it, so, like, selling all the time, back-to-back launches, and I was like, "I'm okay, like, for a week, and then I don't wanna talk to people for, like, 2 weeks." You know? Like, I'm like, I'll do an A week, and then I'll do, like, a B month, and then, like, 1 more A week, and then, like, a B month. Like, so finding out that I was a projector and like how important my energy is and like that I'm here to guide. I remember like one of the first things someone said to me was that projectors weren't supposed to be like virtual assistants. They weren't supposed to be service providers. They should be coaches because they're here to guide. And I was like, no, I can do whatever I want. I can guide someone while I'm doing something. I don't have to be talking only. I can still set up a system and guide you on it. Like um but yeah, so it's kinda like it just gave me permission to not do the things that I should, you know, not do the things that I think I'm supposed to do and do the ones that actually feel good, because I don't wanna go live every single day. I don't like having a strict routine and a schedule. I I have an ongoing to-do list that I add things to, and that's how I know what I'm doing each day. What's on the to-do list still? Like, what have I put off the last 3 days? I should probably do that one first, you know? And I know people
Mhm.
who are like, "Okay, Mondays are COO days, Tuesdays are call days, Wednesdays are for this, Friday is for content creation." I'm like, I can't say that every single Thursday I'm gonna wanna write my captions. Like, I can say at some point this week I'm gonna wanna write my captions, and when I'm inspired and when I'm in the mood, that's when I'll do it, but not at the hour that I put into my calendar. Because that hour will come and I'll be like, "I want a nap." Like
Right, a nap or something else. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I used to be like that type of person who's like, okay, Monday I have to do this, Tuesday I have to do this, Wednesday, because I was like trying to give myself structure, because I thought that's what I needed. But since well, knowing that I'm a projector too, like I just kind of do whatever. And like I won't show up on stories for like a long time
and that's fine.
because I just don't feel like it,
Yeah, and
you
that like
know?
I literally had a call last night and it was all about like marketing your business as a projector. And
Yeah,
I said to her, I'm like, if your energy isn't there, they will not buy. So don't force
right.
yourself because it's not going to translate. If your energy is
That's right.
there, like get on camera and like sell yourself. But if you're not in the mood, if you're not high vibe, then it's fine to not, because it's not, it's almost like putting you backwards by like trying to be fake.
Agree. Always got to be authentic and true to yourself and do whatever feels good to you. So, um, I know that you're a fan of Rob Dial. Like you and I have this shared love for Rob Dial. And he has this podcast called The Mindset Mentor. So, how long have you been listening to him? And what have you learned from him so far?
I think I've been listening to him since like early 2019. Like, honestly, there's like no new episodes for me, and I'm very frustrated. Because I used to every single morning that was like I would put on an episode and it worked because he has thousands of episodes. I think maybe it's hundreds if I'm only 2 years in. But that like if I listened every day and it was 2 years, that would be like 700 episodes, you know. So I've listened to a lot, but my favorite ones are always the eat the frog. So like do the things that you tell other people to do. And comfort zone is where dreams go to die, as in stop being comfortable. You'll never progress if you stay there. Um, yeah, like those are like obviously he has different shows all the time, but he has like some that are continuously like the same. And I found like with him that was the first time someone talked about like unbrainwashing yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like unlearning those narratives that we learned because they are not helping. Like, I don't care if your mom told you you needed to lose weight as a child, like, stop listening to that voice in your head and fix your relationship with food and like create your own path, you know? Like, it's been very helpful in like growing myself as a person, but also growing my business because I've done it on both sides of, like, eat the frog. I have told so many of my friends to leave their, like, loser boyfriends because 'cause they're unhappy and they're not going anywhere and they're just comfortable, and it still took me, like, 6 months to do it for myself, and then I hit the point where I was like, "What am I doing?" Like, if this was anyone else, I would be like, "You're an idiot, leave." But, like, for some reason, I'm convincing myself it's okay. So and it's the same in business, like, I I was just comfortable. I was just floating by. I had the same 6 clients for, like, 6 months and didn't sign anyone new, and it was kind of like, "Okay, well, I would like to continue growing, but it's also not a bad thing that I have consistent income," and it's like, "No, like, push yourself, stop being comfortable. Sit there and create the content for your second Instagram. Sit there and, like, schedule it out. If you're not gonna go on every day, then at least put an effort in to be consistent in some way," you know?
Agree.
It's helped me all around.
I totally relate. Rob has taught me a lot, and I probably discovered him maybe last year when I really started getting to podcasting. So, tell me something people would be surprised to know about you.
My favorite one recently to say is that I'm a hopeless romantic because I don't know, people just seem to think like I'm this like strong, independent, confident woman and I'm just like, yeah, that's true, but I still want like a man to come in and sweep me off my feet. Like I've been saying for the last 10 years, I just want my husband. Like I'm tired of all these I'm not sure if you're allowed to swear, but like I'm tired of all these F boys. I just want my husband. Like
I'm a hopeless romantic as well. Like, I love all the sappy movies. Ooh, what's your favorite movie?
oh, I'm not a sappy movie person. I like guns and fast cars. No, it's
Really?
not Fast and Furious. I love the new Italian Job. I've watched that movie so many times. It's fucking good. So good.
Oh, hmm. I never seen that one.
What? It's Matt
But
Damon.
I know.
Basically anything Jason
Um,
Statham and I'll be happy.
well, he was in Fast and
Yeah,
Furious.
I know. That's why everyone's answer is Fast and Furious.
Well, what's your favorite book?
I'm not reading anything currently. I am really bad when I read that I cannot like function without finishing the book. So I try to only read on weekends, which results in me like not leaving home for 2 days because I just sit here and read. Um, I read a lot of smut, so probably not popular to talk about on this podcast. I actually cannot for the life of me get into entrepreneur books. I have tried on so many different occasions. I have so many downloaded on my phone, and I just cannot get into anything that's not like nonfiction. But if I had to talk about it, if there was I think I've only finished the one book, honestly, but it was The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. and I loved it because it's written storytelling style. Um, but yeah,
Okay.
I've tried so many. I've read half of the 4 Hour Work Week, half of Rich Dad Poor Dad, half of the Four Agreements, and it's just like I'm like, someone give me show notes because I don't care to read the whole story. I want to know the lessons. I don't want to hear the rest of it.
Totally. I have the 4 Hour Work Week. It's sitting on my shelf. I have not
Tim
opened
Ferriss is
it.
so obnoxious in how he talks, though. Like, it's so condescending, his tone of voice, that I it's like the subtle art of not giving a fuck. Like, I started that book and it just felt like Mark Manson was like screaming at you, and I was like, I'm not gonna read 20 chapters of this white man telling me, like, condescendingly how to be. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
I'm picky with what I
yeah,
read.
no, I gotcha. I haven't read that book, but I don't think I will.
Yeah. I liked the idea of it, but yeah, just the first like 2 chapters, I was like, I can't have this voice in my head. I don't want your voice in my head.
I hear you. What's like the most fun or like life-changing place that you've traveled to?
That's really difficult because all of them would have different answers, you know?
Okay.
Like where I'm currently living right now, this is my second time here for 6 months, so technically I've lived here over a year. Um, and it's just so easy to live. I've like gotten to see what my dream life is like. You know, like I live in this weird castle. I have like my friends. There's a party every night. If I want to go out, I don't have to go out. There's like 3 different beaches within a 10-minute walk of my house that I can go to. The market's cheap. The food is cheap. I can get delivery. I can go out. You know, like it's such an easy way of life. And it's my dream life. Like from someone from Canada who had to drive everywhere because it's too far to walk. Like you can drive in 10 minutes, or you can walk for an hour because it's all hills, you know? And so like to be somewhere that I can just walk around, it's sunny year round, so I'm like don't have to wear pants ever. I haven't worn socks in a year. Like like Puerto Escondido is like really influential on my life and I think will be the rest of my life. But at the same time, um like I lived in this place called Margaret River when I was in Australia and I did my farm work there. So like in Australia, if you're on a working holiday visa, you have to do 3 months of farm work to get a second year visa. And again, like there it was somewhere that I could walk. You had to drive, like I had to drive to work and everything. I was working on vineyards, but it was like small and everybody in the town was doing their farm work, like was there working on the vineyards. So like Friday, Saturday, everyone's at the same one bar and 10 minutes and you have access to like 20 different beaches. And it was just like such an easy way of life. Every Saturday morning, I'd wake up at 7 o'clock, go across the street, and go to the farmer's market to buy whatever was fresh. You know, it's like anywhere that's sunny, warm, easy way of life and has a good community of people all in like their mid 20s to mid 30s. Like, I'm probably really happy there.
Do you know how awesome that is? Like amazing that you're like living your dream life. Like
Yes.
there's
I am very aware
so
that it's
many.
so rare.
Yes, there's so many people who are not living like myself. Um, but we're gonna get there. I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah, and
So,
that's what like all I can say is like strive for it because for me it was a matter of like coming home depressed for probably like the third or fourth time because I every time I return to Canada I'm like why do I live here? Like why do I have to be here, you know? And so when I came home from the year in Australia and like 3 months in Bali and I had like fallen in love with someone in Bali, like full eat pray love moment.
love it.
And that's like one of the main ones that I want to write a book on is like my love section of Eat Pray Love. Um but yeah, so when I came home on that flight, like back after I think a year and a half away, and that had been the longest I'd been out of the country at that point. And I just remember sitting in the airplane, like crying, like so anxious to be returning when I didn't want to be there. And I said to myself, like, this is it. Like, we're not doing this anymore. Like, I knowingly am making myself depressed by returning. So, this is not my life. I can't continue to do this to myself. And it took me like a year and a half to like get my business like off the ground and in a place where I was making money. And then I've been gone now for almost 2 years, and I will never move back. I'll go back to visit people, but I would never move back.
I hear you. Where I am in Georgia, once I leave, I'm not coming back. So, have you had like a mentor, like a coach to kind of like guide you into this life that you're living now?
Yes. I've had several different ones. And I would say with each one I had like positives and negatives with them. At this point I know who I want my next coach to be. I haven't invested in her yet though. Like I'm thinking I'm gonna wait till 2022 to invest in another coach because I do find it very beneficial when you're in between coaches to like just take the time for yourself and not like rush into like investing again. But I had a year-long mentorship with someone. All of 2020, I was with one coach, and it was like biweekly calls, like Boxer Access. And she just helped me like with whatever was going on. And then at the beginning of this year, I had a 6 month like high ticket coach, and it's funny because like the year-long one was like low ticket. I think it was like $500 a month. And then the high ticket one for 6 months, it was like $15,000 for the whole thing.
Wow.
And I kind of had the same problems with both of them. And I know it's like now I know it is something within how I need to be coached. I need someone to come to me because I won't go into Voxer every week like this is what's going on. I need someone who will come to me and be like, "Hey, what are you doing? You've ghosted you've ghosted your Instagram. You're not doing what we talked about. You're like have you started?" I need someone who will actually like come back on me and like hold me accountable versus me turning to them. And I'm like, yes, I'm learning from them. Yes, they teach me a lot. But a lot of the times I won't ask for what I need. And that's just something that I need to let a coach know. Like, I need you to like, I don't know, put a reminder in your phone every other week that we're not having our call. Send me a message to make sure I'm like still doing things or like ask me if I have questions about what we talked about, like I just need someone who's gonna push me more.
Absolutely. And I know that you have the VIP fish. So tell us about that.
So I probably had like 100 offers in my product suite for my mentorship. And it was I'm in this program called Finesse Your Funnel. Amazing. Kirsten Roldan, amazing person. But she did like business audit calls. So people could apply beforehand to send them like all the information on their business. And she would get on the call and be like, okay, you said you want this. What are you doing to get there? And like basically would like rip apart your business on the call in front of everyone. um, and the first one she talked to, she was like, look, everybody teaches the like 3-tiered product suite. Like you need something passive, low ticket, and then like a group program, and then your one-on-one is your high ticket offer, blah, blah, blah. And that's what everyone teaches, and that's what we've all been programmed to learn. But it's not how you have to run your business. So for me, like I had these I called them micro offers. They were like $7 offers. I had like a podcast pitch template, a never run out of content ideas PDF. They were fine, like they're all great offers, but I never marketed them, and they were created with the intention of like being like my entry level for people who didn't know me, for people who were new to like get to know what like working with me was like, because all of them come with like a video training. So I had those, and then I had my mini course that is like a mindset course for service providers. And then I had like these challenges that I was creating, like Attract and Sign, which is like a 30-day challenge, like to hold you accountable and sign your next client. And then I had Virtual Authority, which is like my group program. And then I had strategy sessions. And then I had flexible, like one-on-one off. So I had so many things, and I was not selling any of them. Like I wasn't marketing any of them. They would sell like the micro offers, like they're on Pinterest, they're like emailed out every once in a while, but I wasn't like openly talking about them. So people who would find me like didn't know what my offers even were because I never mentioned them. And after that call, I was just like, why do I keep creating all of these things? I don't need to create, I need to market, I need to sell, I need to stop creating. Like I got into this place where I was like, stop consuming, create, you know? And it was like, no, I actually need to stop creating and just market my offers and just market myself. And so I took everything I had created and turned it into the VIP fish. And it's like you get the VIP vault, and it's access to everything I've ever created. So you have like all the virtual authority modules, all the mindset magic modules, all the micro offers. If I do end up running some of the challenges again next year, like if I go back to running Attract and Sign, or if I bring back the content challenge that I had started creating, then like whoever's in the VIP fish will get access to like whatever's running live. But it's just a one-on-one, all-inclusive, low ticket, high impact mentorship program. I do ask for a 6-month commitment because I want to see like long-term growth from my clients. I want to be there with them. I want them to like come to me for all sides of their business, you know, and to be able to reach their big goals, see the changes they're looking for in their business.
Absolutely. I love it. And okay, I think that's like all my questions. I just wanted the audience to get to know you a little bit better. Even though you are open book. Like if you go on your Instagram, it's like, it's kind of like, you're their friend. I mean, they know you. It's kind of get that vibe.
Yeah, that's like what I want. I know. I remember when I first started, people were like, "Oh, like don't enter the friend zone, then it's hard for people to buy from you." And I'm like, "No, I want people to know who I am, because I can be blunt and I can be like in your face, and I'm gonna like, if someone invests in me, I'm gonna be like, "Okay, you said you wanted this, so like why aren't you doing what you wanted, or why aren't you doing the things you need to do to get what you wanted?" Like I'm gonna tell you how it is. And so I don't want people investing in me thinking that I'm gonna hold their hand. Like I am okay if I make someone cry. Like I say that like as nicely as possible, because like sometimes it's just like it's what's gonna happen. Like you're gonna have to like look inside and face yourself. So like yeah, you might cry, but I'm not gonna like let you walk away from it. You need to face it.
Well, I might cry.
And that's okay. Crying's perfectly fine.
Yes, it is. It is. It's good for your soul. But all right. So how can people find you, connect with you?
I would like to be found on TikTok. I would like to be TikTok famous. But honestly, my most active social media is Instagram at Felly Day. It's it's the same on all my social medias, basically at Felly Day on TikTok, at Felly Day on Instagram. My website is fellyday.com. The only different one is my Facebook group, which is confidently free.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And of course, I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening, and stay creative.